What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Back again for episode number 6 on the Living Your Legacy podcast. My name is DJ Legacy. On today's episode, I got my brother Demo in the building. Demo, what's up, my brother?
What up?
Yo, finally, I get an episode over here. We're over here at his residency on a Thursday night over here at 93 Till in the Montrose area. Beautiful venue, great music. My brother always holds it down on a Thursday night. Yo, Demo, welcome out, my brother.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. It's been a long time coming.
I really appreciate you coming through. I know we always come over here. We always have talks. We're always just chopping it up. So I was like, man, let's get this on film. Let's record this. I think it'll be something good. So again, man, I want to thank you, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Welcome, man. Welcome.
Been trying to work it out for a while.
Yeah, I know. So, man, bro. So a lot of people that that don't know this podcast is about, obviously living your legacy, what you've done in the industry, the community, the DJ world, what music, DJing, and life balance while you're doing all that. And you've been in the game for a minute now. I'll let you explain that in a minute, but that's what this podcast is about, and I really feel like, legend, staple in the city. You've been around holding it down for the longest, and you're still doing it, brother. So I got to commend you on that. You've worked with some of the greatest. You're part of some of the greatest crews in the world as far as like DJs. So again, man, I just got to give you your flowers. I got to say how appreciative I am for you to be my homie, and kind of like, the first time we met, we just kind of clicked, and you kind of just took me under and said, kind of spit game, threw game at me as far as like music and the DJ world. So I gotta, like I said, man, thank you, brother. Thank you.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
So, what's up, man? How you been?
Yeah, chilling. Just working, just grinding it out. Obviously here, 93 every Thursday. I'm glad you're here because you come and support. And, we really appreciate that as well, seeing other DJs come through, while we're trying to do good music, right? Like, so it's always nice when you drop by. Yeah. And appreciate that.
Dope. And, as far as, like, here, what other spots are you doing right now? Because I've been following you for a while, and like I said, you've been doing it, and you're still doing it, and you're still keeping up with the times. You're still keeping up with these new guys that are coming into the game, and I see that. You were doing. When we were on Washington, you were on Washington. Yep. Midtown, you were doing Midtown. Yep. You do programming. You do a lot of programming for different venues. So where else are you at?
So right now, it'll be at Jethro's. Also over there on Saturdays. So, and then also, like, I remember a couple weeks back you were like, hey, what's up with Wonder Bar, like Midtown stuff or whatever. And it was just like, it's not really pressing that anymore. After the run we had with Handlebar, which was like 7 years, it was like, now it's time to do something else. Now it's time to like you guys know what I can do, and then, like, whenever you call me, Kay calls me, somebody else calls me, it's like, like, we're gonna show up, we're gonna have a good time, we're gonna fucking have a party, do volume, we're gonna do numbers, but it's like the focus is like now after so many years now, it's like I just want to have fun. Yeah. So like now it's like not pressing and being like, hey, am I gonna be in Midtown? Hey, am I gonna be on Washington? Hey, I'm gonna be downtown. It's like I'm just kind of over trying to like push that because we did it, right? Like we did it. Like,
well, shit, you did it. I feel like I'm just getting started as far as like even sometimes with me, seeing the evolution of like music and the way that the club world is going. It takes a lot to adapt to it. Yeah. And it's like sometimes I go into work and I'm like, man, fuck.
What's the puzzle today, right?
Yeah. Or like try to find a new way to get back involved, or try to find a new way to like play something different in my set, or throw a little.
To go, like I'm going left field this way or that way, and it's every day you're trying to put that puzzle together, and also make the bar staff and the door guy and the fucking GM and the assistant GM not know what you're coming in with next, right? And it's like
because they pay attention. Yeah, I hear some of like our bar backs, and they're like, or some of the bottle girls or some of the staff, they'll be like, man,
here we go again, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's like the worst feeling, bro. That's like the worst feeling. You never want to do that. But before we get into all that, man, I just want to, take it back real quick and just say, because I know you know, you've been part of, you know, legendary crews, Cracker Nuts, Waxaholics. I just kind of want to go back and from the beginning, not the very beginning, but you know, kind of like on the, because I feel like those days were like the golden days of like really DJing and playing music, and you know, you see it now, like nostalgia is back.
Yeah, it's back.
Right.
Yeah.
Whenever it was like you had to just be there for it to be, you know, you had to be in the moment back then, and I feel like I said, those were the golden days of the hip hop era, the dance parties, you know, even the clubs. You know, there weren't that many sections. There was a full dance floor.
I mean, there wasn't bottle service.
Yeah.
Like in certain places, like there wasn't bottle service around. There might have been sections, like Roxy had sections, right? Like, you know, stuff like that. But like you could go to downtown and you're just like, I remember I was probably like 20 or 21 years old, and you just walk down and you're just like, you're just in a bar, right? And like, and I think, I don't know, it was like Grasshopper. I think either Johnny J was the DJ or Ebonics was the DJ. And I'd be going, and you'd be like, you know, you just be in a sea of people.
Yeah.
The DJ be up top, and then there's just a sea of people, and there's no bottle service. Toke Bar was the same. Well, I forgot what was before Toke Bar. I forgot the name of it. But it was before Toke Bar. It was something else. And it was just a big club.
Yeah.
Right? So it was just during that time. But, I mean, to take it back, I mean, it's like...
Kind of like, where were you at? Kind of lay it out at some of the spots that you were doing, kind of when you came up in the game, or, you know, was there anybody who kind of like was a mentor for you to get into the game? So just speak on that.
Well, the thing that actually kind of like connected me a little bit to people to like understand who I was the connection onto Party 104.9. So like I was a guest mixer, and so that guy was Wu Chang. So Wu Chang used to work for the radio station. Like, we went to high school together. He heard a mixtape that I made. It was like a fucking backpacker mixtape. Like, it was like, you know, J. Ruda Damager?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, but it was like not any of the good albums. It was the next album that sucked. And so, like, I had all those records on there. And then, like, he went to Florida. And then he came back. And he had my mixtape because I gave it to a big homie that passed away. He passed away a few years ago. But, like, I gave it to a big homie. And he heard it, and he was like, hey, I'm going to be on radio. I'm going to bring in DJs like every other week. But by then, I had already kind of like DJ'd. I DJ'd before the Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl. So I was down. That was here in Houston.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So I was downtown before the first Super Bowl. And then the first Super Bowl happened, and then I wasn't DJing again.
Damn, the first Super Bowl that was here was...
It was like 03, 02, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was there. Just my homie, he was doing promotions. It was at damn, I forgot. It was Jones Bar 112, which is, I forgot, like there's a place that like pre-pandemic was like, for these young kids, it was like a historic place downtown. But anyway, I forgot what it was. If you're watching, if you know where Jones Bar 112 is, that's where that place is. But anyway, so I was there on a Friday night. My homie was doing promotions, and then, you know, that lasted maybe a year. And within that year, it was funny. I remember specifically, like, this was like before open format was a thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, I had a CDJ, and I would play Latin music on it. And so I play like whatever salsa records, you know. Yeah. Well, there aren't any new salsa records, so it was all the same salsa records we've been playing. So I play vinyl, then like, you know, some stuff off of LimeWire, right, on the CD, and then also like salsa records.
Yeah.
But I was moving around and just doing open format shit. So you play Michael Jackson, you play like Beyonce, then you play like a salsa record. That was just my style back then.
Yeah.
Right. But then there would be times where, like, one time the Cracker Nuts came in because they were around the corner. I think they were at Pink Monkey or some other place. They were around the corner, and I was like, dang, they closed out. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm still going and you're here, it's like, oh, dang, like, and I remember they were sitting up against the wall wondering, like, why does this place have people?
Why does it have people?
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, you could just tell, like, you know how it is. Like, if we closed up early and you're like, why is this place popping? And you're just sitting on the wall and you're just like, damn, like, well, they got some people in here. Huh?
Hey, what are they doing that we're not doing?
Yeah, that we're not doing. Yeah. So it's like,
I get that a lot.
And I know for y'all, especially in Midtown, everybody else fucking wondering where everybody's at.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that was only one time though. So one time that I guess they maybe closed out early and I was DJing and they were there like, the fuck is this guy? I mean, I was literally a nobody out of A-Leaf.
Oh shit.
Right?
You're from A-Leaf?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know? So, and then also that's another thing too. Back then, it was just like, by that, David Cruz was like not like up on all the flyers, because I remember in the mid 2000s he was up on the flyers.
Yeah.
And then Ebonics was probably the only one that was out of A-Leaf for like that you knew that you were like, hey, that fool's from A-Leaf, and that he was doing something. So it was really like just him. But Johnny J's from Stafford, so that's like the next, like going to Sugarland, right? So like Johnny J was the king forever, and then but out of A-Leaf it was Ebonics, and he was out there fucking. Man, the motherfucker was like 17, right? And I was maybe like 21 at the time when I was DJing. Yeah. So I knew, and then so anyway, so like I didn't know anybody. It was just me and my buddy from A-Leaf trying to do stuff. That was pre-Super Bowl. Didn't have anything when the Super Bowl came. And then my homeboy came back from Florida, and he was like, yo, like, you want to get on air? I'll rotate you in with a couple people.
And that was on
Party 104.9. Yeah. So, and that was not paid. Like, you'd have to go in there and you bring your records. This was playing records on air.
And you're doing a live mix show.
Yeah, live mix show. It was the set right before they did the to go to Toke Bar. Like, hey, we're live from Toke Bar.
God, I miss
So
those.
we were the DJs right before they went to the live broadcast. And it was tight, right?
Yeah.
But the homie wanted me to play like not the club music. He wanted to like play Nas and like Fat Joe album cuts and like.
But because they would do the live mix shows too in the clubs, right?
Well, they would just do the club mix. They would just it was live remotes from the club, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they'd be playing like Tupac and like Playboy'd be on it, Impulse would be on it, Chaos would be on it.
Yeah.
And they just be playing like all the club music, right? Like Tupac and whatever, Drop It Like It's Hot or something, right? But I would be a part of the hour before they go to the live broadcast, and so I was in rotation. It was Remix, DJ Remix. So he's like a really super tall Mexican dude. He's light skinned, super tall. Amazing cutter out of Mega DJ, right? He's one of the Mega guys.
Yeah.
Right. So super tall guy.
I know who you're talking about. But
So
I haven't met him.
So he's sick. So he was a part of it. I was a part of it, and there was another dude. I won't say who it was, because, like, after a while, I don't know why Remix couldn't do it. I don't know. But then the other guy that was there was between me and him, so we'd rotate every week.
Yeah.
Then there came to a week where they were like, they called me. Wu-Chang called me. He was like, hey, man, did you steal some records last week? I was like, nah, fool. Like, why would I steal records? Why would I steal records? Because they said I could use the records that are there if I don't have certain records. They said I could use them. But that dude stole some records, come to find out.
Oh, shit.
And so they were like, hey, what they said was like, hey, just bring the records back. Ain't nothing going to happen.
Like they were telling you?
Yeah, they told me that. And I was like, I don't have the records. And then so they told the other guy. And then the guy brought him back, and they were like, you can never come back again.
Oh, man.
And they were like, hey, Demo, you want to do it every week? I was like, hell yeah, I want to do it every week. So so like I was able to do it for free for like almost a year. And then Wu-Chang got fired. And then so he got fired, and then the whole show goes away. But within that, it was just so many amazing like things, right? Like you're playing vinyl on air. I'd find something like, and this is not to toot my own horn, but like my boy put me onto Rihanna's first single. You remember Rihanna's first single? Forgot whatever that. It was like that reggae inspired or the dance hall inspired one.
Not the turn the music up.
No, that's later. That's later.
Right?
Yeah, that's later.
Yeah, no.
Whatever her first single was, right? Like my boy put me onto. He's like, hey, check it out. Jeff Jam just got this new artist. Because he was on hiphop.com or some shit like that. He was whatever.
Where you had to go to the website.
Yeah, you had to go to the website to hear new artists, right? And it's like hiphopgame.com or something. And then anyway, so I played that record, and there's people who worked there didn't want new records played, right? And also they didn't want you to go out of a playlist, because if you go out of the playlist and you play new records, you make them look bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
Like they're not dropping the hottest shit.
Yeah. Or like you're able to do something that they're not able to do, so you make them look bad, right?
Yeah.
So like some people would call in, and like other DJs would be like, yo man, like why you doing that? Wu-Chang, why your DJ doing that? Like he needs to stick to the clipboard. And then Wu-Chang would hang up on him. And he'd be like, man, just play, fuck that. Let's just play whatever, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, back to that Rihanna record. I was the first person to play Rihanna's fucking first single in Houston, because it wasn't on vinyl yet. because when it got to vinyl and pressed to everybody, then everybody got it.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, you listen to it, or the program director's like, hey, like, let's put this in rotation. It's a great record, right?
Yeah.
But I got it before it got pressed to vinyl, and I played it, and I was like, oh shit, this is tight as fuck. But like, I only played it once. I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
Then she becomes like a big thing. And
then, I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, shit, you could talk your shit on that because, I mean, look how big of an artist that she got.
yeah, and then that's why I'm
Just to
like,
know, just a little history thing to know that. I mean, shit, that's dope in itself.
and I feel
That's
like
why you said. That's why you say I don't mean to toot my own horn.
yeah, and everybody was like, you know, everybody waited till things got hot or or it got pressed on vinyl, right? Because back then people were kind of not ready to move over to Serato, so people were still doing vinyl, so it still meant something. So anyway, so that was just one thing.
Well, I want to touch on something real quick because so even in radio, like even like programming is just like, you know, DJing throughout the night programming.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah.
You know, there's DJs that get on later that didn't want you to play the new records.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like kind of like an opener, like kind of like an opening.
Yeah, and also my slot,
Like how an opener would do for a headliner.
Yeah, my slot was an opener. It was a piece of shit overnight slot. So that I would do that like let's say it's 11 o'clock or 10 to 11 or something, right?
Yeah.
That's not like nobody's listening, right? Drive time, morning and night are the best times,
Yeah.
right? But then those guys would still get mad anyway. So then I'd be
Like, foo, I'm playing this shit.
yeah, like dog,
hours
nobody
before you.
cares, right? Nobody's even listening to me. Also, nobody wants to listen to this because they're ready to hear like Yin Yang Twins. You know what I mean? Like, so and then later
Hell
we
yeah.
get
Yin Yang Twins.
we do overnights like on the holidays, right? Like Labor Day, all that type of shit. So I'd be like, dog, fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'd be at Party 104.9 doing a holiday mix. And these guys, with the older guys, would be like, they'd come up the station all drunk, and like we almost got into fights
Damn.
because
Throwdowns in the station.
and then because me and Wu were like, Wu was just standing on business, but also like I don't think they realized Wu was like a black belt in Taekwondo, so like he wasn't worried about anybody, and I wasn't worried because I knew he was a black belt,
Yeah.
and
It was like your unofficial security.
yeah, I was good, and he would tell me, and he would go into the hallway, and they would start arguing.
Damn.
And Wu would be like, hey man, keep mixing. And I'd be mixing, and then I'd be like, kind of peek out the hallway, and then I'll be like, all right, do we have to jump in?
Yeah.
Like, how's the mix gonna go on if we have a fight?
hey. It's gonna be like one of those intros that everybody used to do on a hip hop record.
Yeah.
They just put the mic on the crowd and it's
Yeah.
like natural. Hey yo dog.
But it was just that competitive back then, of like, why are you doing this? Like, also some people would probably I don't know, like, would people get paid? I don't know, maybe I don't know. I was literally a nobody, but I was on air. But I was like, why y'all care so much? It's 3 o'clock in the morning right now. And there would be like a bat phone over there, and it'd ring, and some of those DJs would call. It wouldn't be the program directors. It'd be the other DJs calling, being like, why are you not on the clipboard? Clipboard meaning like the approved records of A records, B records, C records.
Yeah.
And those are the approved records.
And you were playing the C record?
And I was playing like not on the list. And so it'd be like, Fat Joe album cuts with Nelly or whatever, just whatever. I don't know. But
now,
that was
for some people that don't know what album cuts means.
like I guess back then you might know like the Fat Joe and R. Kelly record is the single. So like you supposed to play, if that's the one that the program director told you to play, or that's the one that's being pushed by the station and the label, then you stay with that. But we would go and be like, hey, what's this other song produced by Just Blaze? And it's like, you're not supposed to play that one. You're supposed to, and also like you're supposed to play the ones that keep people interested. You keep people interested, and me and Wu were not keeping people interested. Like we were playing like, oh, Just Blaze produced this one record on. It's called The Incredible on Fat Joe's album, and you're like, dang, we gotta play this.
Like I have to.
And it was like we shouldn't have been doing that, whatever. But that's what we did, and people were getting mad.
Now, do you think? And
that was like 04, 05.
That was 04, 05.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think that, because I want to put it into perspective, because I always like to, compare things of how it is now. Do you think that was you pretty much putting in your work like putting in?
Well, that's it. Like
Because you said you were like kind of like a nobody. You were just coming in and
not knowing anything. I think I just
did you feel like that was you? Like, all right, I got to put in this work. Let me do this because, let me deal with the bullshit. Let me do these.
So you don't know. You think everything is hunky dory, and you walk in and you see it's like it's a contact sport. That's what you walk into, and you were like, dang, this is tough. Like, it's not about the music. It's not about DJing. It's not about how good you are. All that stuff gets you there, but then there's a whole nother level of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what I realized. And that's where, like, from that point, like, after the station closed, well, Wu got fired, and then the station flipped to reggaeton.
Yeah, it went
right?
Yeah, it switched. Yeah.
So it switched to reggaeton, and it's just like, from there, like, it just made me think of like, dang man, like it's politics in this shit. So like
just like anything.
Yeah, but like when you're 20 something, you're just like, I'm just about the music. But you get a slap in the face of what you're kind of getting at of like, yo man, this is a rude awakening of what this business is. And that kind of led me to be like, I don't know, like I don't know what to do. Because it was back then you didn't have social media, right? Like MySpace wasn't a thing to communicate.
Like there was
to
nobody to kind of like hype you up on the side, or there was nobody to like.
You just had to know people. Like you literally had to have a relationship with people, and then so that goes on to be like, okay, I do a couple of gigs, and it's only because a homie I went to high school with worked security somewhere, and he's like, hey, can you come and work at night at Paisanos or something like that, or hey, the DJ's not here today. Can you come through? And like it'd be those types of things.
And you would have to take advantage of some of those opportunities.
Oh yeah, because I wasn't doing anything, right? Like,
no, and I really feel that, man, and that's why I say, going back, I always like to say a lot of these people that are coming up, and I would even say maybe like 5 years. I've only been in it for maybe 7. But even before that, it's just a lot of people don't know now coming in. A lot of the work and a lot of the foundation, like you said, that Johnny J, that Ebonics, Playboy, Impulse, like, a lot of these guys, that they were in that grit. Everybody was in that grit back then. Like,
and they really did a great job of like, I mean, the word networking is overused. But they really, that's a really good skill set that people have. Like if they have that, because like even with me, right? Like we're homies, but you don't see me everywhere. I've just never really been that way. Yeah, I've just never been like that.
I would say that I'm like that too, because I mean, if I go somewhere and I see somebody, I'm a cool person to talk to, but it's like, I guess it's a way of like, you got to show your personality too. And as far as like, like I'm not no fucking like fake ass.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
And that's how I've always been. That's how I've always been.
And I've always got that from you, bro. And you've always like spoke the real. Like I said, you've laid down some game. Like, you like, even if you see, for instance, the one time that you were at Vida or the one time that you were at Medellin, and you saw this new kid Maui, I mean, you gave him his props.
Yeah.
You gave him his props. You were like, yo, like he's dope.
This shit was him and Fluffy were just impressive, right? Just like, damn, but like, and I do that now because I realize as an older guy that when you say that to somebody, it gives them a little bit of a booster in their in their back, right? Like,
for sure. And that's dope for you to do that, because like I said, you've been doing it and you're still doing it, but then you're also, I would say humble enough to respect where the DJ game is going, or you respect the great DJs, because even over here at 93 on a Thursday, you have Kayla over here, and she brings in the crowd. And I've been following her. I've never like really conversated with her or anything like that, but I've been around the same people that she's around. Yeah. And I see the events that she's doing. I see the events that she's involved in. I want to give a shout out to her, because she's a real and she's cultured like DJ,
doing it herself.
Yes, exactly. And I see when y'all do that, and I really see you bringing her over here and like letting her shine. Like doing her thing. Like you're always like, and to me that's dope, bro. Yeah. Because you can give somebody their flowers in this world, but then you could also do it in this world and this world, because I really feel like you understand the world and the nature of being a DJ.
Yeah.
And I talk to you about this all the time.
Yeah.
And we always say it's always about the music. It's always about, how you can take a crowd from here and do it here. And I really feel like, throughout the years that you've been DJing, shit, you've seen so many fucking crowds. The evolution of
the whole thing,
music and a crowd. So I wanted to touch on something like going from, well, first, let me go back, because I wanted to get into how you got involved in the whole all vinyl.
Oh, situation?
Yeah. Because there's a couple of DJs that can still do it and still hold it down, but you hold it down. You hold it down, my brother. And then, like, the other day, right? Like, you posted a video, and you were like, man, I just gotta let motherfuckers know who I am sometimes.
I mean, that was between you and me. But
You told me that in confidence. No, but like, the whole vinyl thing, right? Because it takes you back to your roots. I know, because definitely I see you. Like, you still carry records, you still carry crates. You bring crates over here. And I think Lowe's, shout out to Lowe's.
Yeah, Lowe's. Yeah, big ups to Lowe's for supporting on that too. It just takes you back to like to why you started doing it. It just like to me it's freeing, right? To me it's freeing because there's no laptop, there's nothing around you. It's just you and the record. And then it was something that, like, man, I forgot how me and Reeks with the Waxaholics got connected.
Big dude.
Yeah, the big dude with the beard. Yeah. And so Reeks, I forgot how we got connected. And then he was like, so somebody was like, hey, come and check out this night. It was at Double Cross on Gray. So it was like, they were like, they're going to do a Jay-Z tribute, right? So this is the second year that Waxaholics was in existence.
Yeah.
And it was like, I think it might have been the first Jay-Z tribute, right? And I just thought it was amazing. It was just like, who has the gall to do a Jay-Z tribute, right? All vinyl.
Okay, so Waxaholics was all vinyl.
Oh, the whole thing is all vinyl.
Waxaholics was a DJ crew. Was it? What was it?
Reeks always had a good way of putting it. He said, "If you have vinyl, you're a Waxaholic." Right? That's the way he put it. He was just like, because he really wanted to spread the whole gospel of like vinyl, bringing the resurgence of vinyl, right?
Yeah.
Because there was I think there was a party in Atlanta at the time, and maybe on the West Coast or something like that. So he had the idea, brought it here, and it was just all vinyl collective the whole time, right? Just that's the only thing we did, or he started and then I became a part. But I saw him year 2. He did the Jay-Z tribute, the first one, and I was like, this is incredible, right?
Yeah.
Because you never heard those tracks in public.
Yeah.
So in 2001, when Blueprint came out, you didn't hear those songs in the club that often, right? Like, you might have heard Aisha the Izzo or something, but in the early part. But whatever. Yeah. So it was like, he did the whole thing. We had mutual friends. He didn't grow up in A-Leaf, but his brother did, and he lived out there, and he knew people in A-Leaf. So like, we kind of had mutual friends. So anyway, so he would tell anybody, hey, because it's like it's just him.
Now keep going.
So he just needed people to help fill time.
Is it recording? Yes. Okay. Yeah.
He needed people.
This is live. I gotta make sure I told you I'm shooting on my own camera.
Yeah, now you're by yourself today. So he would always ask everybody, no matter who you are, if you have vinyl, come and do a set. And then I did one, and I was like, damn, this is tight. And then he just kind of asked me a couple more times, and then I just kind of filled in. And then after a while, then it was just like, all right, you want to be a part of it? And it was like, yeah, let's do it. And it was just hella fun, right? It was just like, it just brings you back to like the beginning.
So the first time that you did a set with them, where was it?
It was at Double Cross
on Gray.
Yeah, Double Cross on Gray, and then they grew out of that place, and then they went to the mural with Elroy Booger on the side. I forgot what that venue's called. I forgot.
Aura.
No. It's next to Aura.
The
No.
Fuck, I sound stupid.
Forgot what the venue's called, but anyway, so it got moved there, and then Rika was like, "Hey, do you want to do an hour?" And so I brought a couple of crates, and I was like, "All right, cool." And what Los always tells me, he was like, that was your coming out party of like really solidifying that you're back on vinyl, because that set I did was like a really good set."
So
And,
when Lo said that was like you coming back on like
yeah, full
vinyl.
yeah.
That was what year? Because you said 1049. That was like 2004.
4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then probably that maybe 14, 15.
No shit.
Yeah, it was around then.
And what made you want to do that? I mean, you were already doing, like, before that, after the radio station and after doing all the mix shows, were you doing, like, what they would call, like, clubs? Or what were you doing after?
But there just wasn't a lot of shit going on, right? So, like...
I know there were bars and...
but it wasn't, like, the scene that we have now, right? Yeah. So, like, you might have only had a few. And also, there wasn't that many DJs, right? So, there was a few venues, few DJs. And if you weren't really plugged in, like an Ebonics, a Playboy, Chaos, Aggravated, the Blaster, you know, these top tier guys. JQ at the time was like coming up too.
Yeah.
And there was just a limited amount of venues. So like, you know, you were kind of like, I remember would do the, what's that joint called? Damn. 290 in Mangum, right? Like there used to be a bar over there and you do that. And like the Perfect Rack was another thing. It was on 290 in Mangum, and it was like a pool hall. Yeah. You just but there just wasn't a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And I remember I would go see Chaos. I mean, I didn't know Chaos at the time. I mean, we knew each other at party, but then we had a long time where we didn't talk. But he DJ'd at Chrome, which was one of the clubs that was over there, right? Like you know, just like it just wasn't as many places. So you really had to be tapped in to be doing stuff.
To be doing the inner city.
Yeah.
Like, to be
and
doing
you had
like
to be politicking like we were saying. Like, and I wasn't over there just like, hey, you know, Shadow Bar guys, you know, hey, let me, you know, whatever. I just wasn't that guy.
And you know, I say it the same way, man, because I mean, I really didn't come into it as far as like dick riding.
Yeah.
You know?
For a better term.
So I didn't come into it like that, but I understand what you're saying, and like I said, man, I can see that because of the way of the person that you are. Whenever, like I said, whenever we talk, bro. So that's why I was like, man, you know what? It'll be dope to kind of like get things into perspective, to really like talk about it and shit like that.
And then there would be places like so I DJ for back then. It was like, you know, 05, 06 was the city was on fire, right? Because of the right. So I used to DJ for a reggaeton hip hop group, and they were out of the East Side, and so like we would do shows at the Perfect Rack. We do fucking Roy Mesa's beer garden. You know, that's Roy Mesa's. You know what that place is?
Nope.
That's come to find out, it's Mateo's. DJ Mateo's.
Oh, from the East Side.
Yeah.
You say East Side, so I know they're from the East Side. Yeah.
So like comes to find out that's Mateo's like uncle or something that ran that place, right? His uncle is Roy Mesa. It's hilarious. Yeah. And so like you do events there, you do events here, like, and you're like, man, there were some places like here, Montrose, like Richmond or something like that. I forgot what it was. Like they had like showcases, like. During All-Star, NBA All-Star, right? Like they would have showcases. Mangoes, I think was the name of the place.
Okay, I know Mangoes. I know Mangoes.
Yeah. And so like that place, and then Jet Lounge was another place, right? Like
Jet Lounge.
Just all these different like little side places where you just kind of you try to stay active and do stuff. Yeah. And then, because to me, then by the time that happens, that's like 08, 09, 10, the economic downturn, right? So like fucking it's fucking dry. Because the whole fucking economy goes to shit at that time. So once you hit about 2010, everything starts picking up again. But yeah, by the time the 2000s end, it's kind of a dark time. There isn't a lot of things going on. And then also my heroes, like, you know, Cracker Nuts, Witness, Mathematics, they're not really DJing. Those are like the hip hop guys. And they're not really DJing out too much, so you don't really see them around. And you might see him at a show at a Warehouse Live or
Yeah.
Numbers or something like that.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't a lot.
And that's another thing too, man. I mean, I really feel like, I feel like it's important, and that's another reason why I do this is because you're name dropping some great guys, like, you know, that maybe people didn't even know who they are or who they were, and I do it because, like, motherfuckers need to realize, like I said, a lot of people who lay down the platform as far as great DJs in Houston, in the city, like, they need to be named too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're really giving like some names to some great people, some great DJs, and that's dope, man. Because I mean, like I said,
Because there's people that came before you, right? Like,
Yeah.
and also, like, what are you gonna say? Ebonics wasn't outside before, you know? Like, Ebonics had been outside, so like, you can't say like, you know, you can't leave these people out and just be a hater.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, also like, I'm a fan of this shit. And like, I was a fan of his, fan of the Cracker Nuts, fan of the Mathematic DJs, you know, and Rockwell when he came to town, that was another guy that like literally shook up the city. I remember I talked to him a couple of weeks ago. He was like, "Yo, like it was like that." I was like, "Dog, you shook the city up. You scared everybody."
I hear a lot of people fucking say that, and you know, it's funny because the first time I met him, you know, it was like more of like a what's up thing. And then it was more like kind of getting to know him, and then kind of like, you know, telling him like, because he was one of the first people who I was like, fuck, man, like,
Yeah.
I want to be like that guy.
Yeah,
Like,
straight
I
up.
wanna be like that guy, bro. You know, and the shit that he's done, you know, shout out to Rockwell. So yeah,
And he has an amazing story. And I remember when I was on the mix show, he was there. He had just came from Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And we sat next together at Papados, and because you know at that time they would show appreciation. The radio station would show you appreciation, take you to Papados.
Yeah.
First time I ever had
Steak and
Papados,
shrimp.
and it like and I sat next to Rockwell and we had a little chat. He was nice, and then this is just a side story. Is that I was so green that like you go to look at the menu and you're like, oh, I'll pick a cheap thing, right? Like I'm not gonna be an asshole, you know. And I was like, let me get the chicken fingers, right? And then like, you know, we got a bunch of appetizers.
get the kids meal.
And then the older guys, some of the guys that busted my balls, they were like, all right, I'm gonna get the fucking this, that, and this, and I'm gonna eat that here. And also, can you give me these 2 items to go? So, and I was just like, man, I should have done that. I look back like years later, I'm like, damn, I wish I could have taken a whole bunch of Papados to go. I should have done that. Should have done
Should've
that.
took
shit.
advantage.
Yeah, I should have taken advantage of it. And then because the labels would take you out too, right? Like whoever had the Def Jam account, which was on the level, which was DJ Screw's ex-girlfriend, and then Lump, so they owned on the level.
Okay.
And so since I was on the radio, I was able to like be a part of their record place. And they would be like, I met them at Payway. No, not Payway. What's the other one? That fancy one. PF Chang. Yeah. When PF Chang's first came out, they took all the DJs to PF Chang's, and they're like, oh shit, fried rice like crazy, right? It's like, man, this is $32 fried rice.
It was like one of the, you better finish that food.
Yeah. They're like, damn. They were like, hey, you want to go to PF Chang's? I was like, hell yeah, I'll go with you. And then that's how I got my little package. Like when I go to On the Level, go get free records.
Yeah.
And then it was through On the Level, Nikki and Lump. And it's because I met him at PF Chang's, and then because the record labels just throwing up money around.
Yeah.
But
As they should.
But anyway, that's some side story shit. But like,
No, that's dope, though, man. Because you know those little side stories kind of give a little bit more history to
because
you know how it was, and like because like I said, back then, you know, a lot of social media wasn't here, so like the stories really bring out a picture.
Yeah.
You know, it's up to you. It's up to a lot of guys actually that been doing this that have the real stories to where you got to paint a picture instead of just posting.
Yeah.
I get it, right? It's adapting and it's part of the culture now. But man, those stories that a lot of people give, it really, I like to paint a picture of it.
Yeah.
And like you said, you were and still, like you said, are a student of the game, of the culture, and you love this shit. So I do it, and I know a lot of DJs that really love this shit, that really enjoy fucking just sitting back and listening to fucking stories, bro, all day. I can listen to stories all day, and then let me put a picture to it of how it was. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I really feel like, you know, in that early 2000s era of all the parties and all the DJs that were rocking. That was like the golden era of
Yeah, it was.
everybody just
Also
DJing.
the music too, right? Like, it was
Yeah.
just, I mean, obviously now everybody's playing Y2K. I told Kay,
nostalgia
yeah,
is-
I told Kay the other day when we did our party here, I was like, Kay, I've been playing this record since it came out. I was like, how do you think I feel?
right?
Because she was like, I think she was like, man, they kind of just want some Reggie today. And I was like, yeah. I was like, but I've been playing this record since it came out, dog. And I told that to Rockwell the other. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, right? I still love all the records I play, but it's just a thing of like, and that kind of brings me back to like to the vinyl thing, of like staying with vinyl, and is because it takes me back to that time when I was a kid. It just makes you feel like why you started.
Yeah.
And when unfortunately, like, there's maybe guys from your era that have never done vinyl, and it makes me sad a little bit because it's like, yo, like, you don't see the beauty of what this is. Like, I know it's hard. I know you got to collect all the shit. You got to spend money.
And that's what I was going to say. Explain the beauty of it. What's the beauty of playing? What?
But
let's say like an hour set of all vinyl.
I mean, it's because you're not in control, right? Like, you're not in control of, like, you don't have an acapella in, you don't have an intro in, you don't have an acapella out, you don't have, like, all these stems, you know what I mean? You don't have all these things to, like, get you through. Like, you have to navigate that whole set to make it sound. Be like, does this record go with this record, or does this record go with that record?
Yeah.
Or do I have to manually do the acapella to do a mashup to get out of it, and then get into my next record, right? Yeah. Or, like, do I need to freak it so I don't keep my set the same, and I have to do you manually have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's just the fun. I mean, like,
I know some, because like I said, students of the game, students of the culture, they're okay. Let me get a turntable. Let me see what it feels like to touch. Let me see what it feels like to slow it down. Headphones.
No laptop.
Right? Yeah, right. I know a lot of people like that, but there's not a lot of people who could touch vinyl. Even I mean, there's some people to this day, like that were, a little bit older or whatever, or came up in the game, but there's not a lot of people that could touch vinyl, bro. And
and that's what I wish, and that's why, like, trying to do this on this, like, try to promote it, like, with. You guys know me from Midtown Washington and all this other stuff, so it's just like maybe trying to bring eyes to this to help inspire other people, just to, like, to get like, it's not all about being in front of 1,000 people or 500 people. Like, this thing is, like, also for your soul.
Yeah, like I really feel like even when you do your videos, when you post, right, I really feel like it would be more interesting for let's say a newcomer, right? Let's just Maui. If that motherfucker got on some vinyl and really put up a video to where he knew how to control vinyl, go back and forth, really, I'm talking about not Serato vinyls. I'm talking about, like, records, right? Yeah. To where you show, hey, I really love this shit. I'm in it. I'm kind of in it to win it. Kind of. Let me show you what I can do, because, like I said, bro, there's flawlessness in a lot of guys that I've seen do all vinyl sets, bro.
Yeah,
there's flawlessness.
Some great
and a lot of guys.
Like, you don't know, and that was the beauty about the Waxaholics parties that we were doing, is that it got to the point where, like, people didn't even know we were doing vinyl.
Yeah,
it was just a party.
Yeah,
and they were like, towards the end of it, but the end meaning, like, the pandemic.
Yeah,
is that people were coming there asking for records that we didn't have on vinyl or wasn't available on vinyl at the time, and then it would be like, all we have is vinyl. People just didn't even know. They just thought, like, hey, this is banging parties happening. And that was kind of a cool thing of, like,
yo, I really can't play your request.
Yeah, rocking the whole Alley Cat and doing the volume we did.
I think that's the first, not to cut you off, but that's the first time I kind of, like, went to a Waxaholic thing, and it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
it was. I went with Roger.
No shit.
Alley Cat, yeah.
Did you go up there for the house music upstairs, or did you come for the hip hop?
I was downstairs, yeah, because we were coming from Continental. We were at Continental.
Oh, you were seeing a show?
Yeah, a tribute, and then we went over there. So, because that was before pandemic. Because
yeah, it was. Yeah.
Then after that, everything just kind of
changed, right? Yeah. The whole world changed, and I remember we got nominated for best party. which was pretty cool. I think Bombon was on that same bill.
Yeah.
Fistful of Soul, which was like a legendary soul party. So that was pretty cool. We got nominated for that.
See, but man, all those parties, I put it. Those were parties.
Yeah.
I get it now, right? I get the pop up parties, and I get everything like that. But man, if people can go to those parties and remember what it felt like to go to those parties and really like get down and hear the DJs like really fucking get down, you know what I mean? Like,
And everybody had their lane, right? Like,
yeah.
so it was like
there would be an MC sometimes.
oh yeah, I mean there would be
At some parties there would be MCs.
sometimes we would have some like homies be goofballs and fucking be on the mic talk shit. Like Eves would get on the mic and try to do his thing. Duke would be up there. Sean Fallion from Atlanta when he'd be in town, amazing MC.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. Yeah, so we would have some MCs sometimes, but most of the time we wouldn't have an MC. Yeah. We would just let the party happen.
So getting on the mic
Because it would bother me because I'm like trying to get my shit off.
Yeah.
And I like have my shit prepared, and all of a sudden you're like, yo, you hear it, Alley Cat right out, and I'm like, dog, like I'm trying to get my shit off.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I just saw a video. I think it was at 5015. I think it was Scratch. I think it was. I don't know if.
Oh, you saw that situation?
Where, what's his name was on the mic?
Yeah,
like-
Ali Sadiq.
And then Scratch was like, "Yo."
He was like, my man, you got like you doing all that right now?
Like, I'm trying to put on this show. And
And so I've recently had a conversation with the people on DM, like older guys on DM. I'd be like, man, people don't care about this anymore.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, no, people care about real DJing or whatever. And then like this came up, and if people don't know, it's just like, so DJ Scratch is an amazing DJ, probably top 1% in the world of like how talented he is.
Yeah.
Was doing his tricks here at 5015, but then the comedian Ali Sadiq literally just gets in front of him and just starts talking over him and says, you don't have any Kiki,
Or
you don't have
Houston.
any Scarface, you don't have no Zero. Wow, this man, this legend, if there was a Hall of Fame, he'd be in there.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
For sure.
And he just starts talking over him doing a
Like a routine.
showcase.
Yeah, showcase. Yeah.
It was a showcase. So he was showcased by the venue, brought in with the headlining MC to do a showcase, and Ali Sadiq is just talking over it. And you know, you can watch the video, but it was just like it just show. I sent that to my friends that have been talking about people don't care about real DJing.
Yeah.
Me and Rockwell talk about that too, about
Yeah.
whatever. But and it was like that. See, that's just an example. That's even an older guy in an older place not caring about DJing.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it's the thing too, because he was like, I heard, and I heard the whole, New York, we don't want to hear that. Like, I get it, right? We love Houston culture. Houston knows that we love Houston culture. I'm always gonna throw my Houston roots in a set till this day, no matter what. I don't care, right? Because that's just what we do. But I came up on a lot of records as far as becoming a DJ, even legendary DJs from New York. I came up on listening to guys like that.
Yeah.
I came up on listening. So of course everybody is like gonna, and especially like you said, legendary Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
if there
like,
was one.
if there was a hip hop Hall of Fame, he'd be in it.
Motherfucker would be in there. So like it's just crazy for somebody to like kind of ruin that.
And also, you're in a venue that has at 5015. They've been having like legendary hip hop people, like Kid and Play, Scarface, obviously, but all that EPMD. They have all East Coast acts, West Coast acts, Midwest acts there, and then that happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see it now, man. It's like you see all these videos pop up of like a lot of people disrespecting the DJ.
Yeah.
Do you feel like just because? And now I want to get into how it is. How do you feel like everything's evolved? Because there's a social media era. There's an era to where like people are just doing it for clicks, likes,
clout.
Clout, right? Do you think that kind of ruined a kind of like culture for us? Because now it's like, we don't give a fuck who the DJ is. Like, do you think it's more of a disrespect to where like you get more people coming up disrespecting you for like requests or fucking disrespecting your equipment or.
I think this era, like your era and younger type people, I think they just don't know. Like the whole thing
There
is
was
just
nobody there to like tell them like yo,
they're not aware of things pre 2015 or
Yeah.
even right like
even
like 10 years ago at this
Yeah.
point, 2015, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, what do they even know? Like Jazzy Jeff isn't around, you know, Scratch Bastard's just in his own niche. So you don't have these things. You see, like, you know, this one girl came up to me. I was at Woodrow's DJing, and this girl comes up to me and says, "Can you play John Summit?" I was like, "I don't like John Summit's music."
I do.
And she got offended,
Yeah.
and it was like it's just not good. Like,
Yeah.
just don't like his shit. And then also, I could say I paid tickets to see John Summit.
Yeah.
In Mexico City, I saw him.
Oh no shit.
Not good. It's just that people just don't know. Their thing is just
They're stuck in it. Like,
whatever is happening at the festival
Yeah.
is what I accept, right? And those DJs, you run them, and even in the Latin festivals, you run into those guys too.
Yeah.
Right? Like those, it's every festival thing or show guy is their lane. They'll be like, oh, this person's DJ is in the Latin community, does Besame Fest or whatever whatever fest they do, Reggaeton Fest and TJ, whatever, right? Like, oh, that's the badass DJ. But you know that Fat Fingers from New York is a way better DJ than all these other Latino DJs.
Oh, a lot.
You know, and
Shout out Fat Fingers. Actually, you were there at Medellin the first time that Fat Fingers.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
you
go
weren't
to the.
there?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were there.
Because he was there on a Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I was there for that Tuesday.
Yeah,
but
Fat Fingers is dope, man.
I think they put me on the flyer that week. Remember how they put me on flyer? I think I was on the flyer though.
Yeah, right. Nah, but man, like, you know, like I said, you've been, you know, going from an era to where you could have easily died out, right? You could have easily just started doing, you know, like, you know, going back to like the little shit or whatever. But you stayed in it, man. Like you really stayed in it, and like I said, you kept the programming going for a lot of guys, and you know, the programming for, you know, more work for a couple of the guys that are out. Like I know, you know, Mateo. Like I always see Mateo like on bills or on things that you were doing, and things like that. So
and yeah, even after the pandemic, right? Like,
and even like
like
and then
when we opened up Unicorn Disco, we did that. We did huge numbers when that opened up. Had that thing rocking in Midtown before you guys came along. There was a time when Unicorn Disco was the thing before you guys came around.
Yeah.
And so we had a good, me and Chaos had a good time with that, with Main Event too, right? So we did that, and we got nominated for Best DJs for that.
Yeah.
But we didn't get nominated as an individual. We got nominated as a venue. You know how usually it's like Ebonics and then this other person and then this other person. They nominated Unicorn Disco as Best DJs. So it was just kind of weird, but I think it's because we had a rotation.
Oh,
and they probably didn't
it wasn't
know.
just like one specific.
Yeah, it wasn't one person all the time. We rotated. And so that was kind of cool. So it's like, you know, best party with Waxaholics, best DJs after we opened up from the pandemic was tight. And we ran that. Of course, Handlebar was like 7 years, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's been a ride for a while now. So
well, like I said, man, I mean, you took it, you ran with it, you adapted, and everything that you're saying, it's like, you know, I would say that somebody wouldn't compare you to like an old head saying, or like, you know, like downing what's going on now, because you don't, bro. Like, you put it out there, like, yo, this is what we did, this is the shit that I did. Somebody can be so arrogant about, oh, I'm all vinyl, like, but you still rock on everything. You've adapted to everything that's going on. You've adapted to the times, and still, you know, been able to make a living off of this, bro. You've been able to make a living off of this, and that itself is just an accomplishment, bro. And that's something that I always look for. As in, you know, what do I look forward in the future? Where do I see myself in a couple of years? Where do I see myself 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, or whatever? Like, I still want to be doing this, but in a certain way, to where I don't have to be that bitter, like, old DJ, old head. You know, you have to make room and kind of like pick and choose who's coming up. Who are the good guys that are going to
Who you want to align yourself with.
Exactly.
So I think that's the bigger thing, that people that inspire me, and then maybe I can inspire them, and I think that's where like we have a mutual inspiration for one another. I work with Don Ray. He's another person I respect. Kay, obviously, right?
Oh, we're good.
And it's just aligning myself with like people that like that inspire me. And it doesn't even, like, at this point, it's like it's not even about skill. It's just like, what are you doing that inspires me? Because I can see through everything, right? And be like, you have something that's special, this person has something special. It doesn't have to be this or that technical skill or anything. It's just like, oh, that. And then also on top of that, the person has to just be a good person. Like, I think that's what like we talked about earlier in this thing, is like not necessarily being a dick rider. It's like, man, I just want to enjoy my time with the person I'm with.
Yeah, bro.
Right? Like, and be like, oh, okay, I can learn something or whatever. And like, you know, we can spend 4 hours together and not.
Yeah.
I don't have to be fucking fake about it.
I don't feel like you're trying to be better than me. I don't feel like.
Or I'm using you or whatever.
Now, over the years, that's another thing too, right? Over the years, I mean, an ego can really kill a lot of guys in the industry, right? And that goes back to, you know, adapting, right? Do you want to be in this shit? Is this what you really love? Now, some people will stop for many reasons, right? I've seen a lot of people stop for really good reasons, but it's just like there's a lot of people with an ego that won't give up that ego, that won't, you know, adapt to the new times.
You know, and that also applies to DJ programming, right? So if you're handling the booking at a venue, like, I could have worked all those days myself. Yeah. I didn't need anybody's help. However, it's a chess game, right? Like, we're playing a chess game with these venues. Okay, they, you know, and then it's like, hey, I have this great group of guys that, like, if I'm not there, we all sound, you know, it's like the same, right? You didn't miss anything. So it's like all that stuff is like you're saying with ego, it's like it is about playing this bigger chess game. And I think that's what I think people are missing. And I think maybe you getting at that of like, there's a bigger picture here than just the gig.
Yeah.
And that's how all of it ran. Like, you would, you know, do the DJ programming, have a group of people, be like, dang, we're running a little bit thin. Hey, where's Mateo at?
Yeah.
Like, is he a good kid? And he was, and he did great. And now it's like, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now he's taking, like you said, all the things that me and Chaos were doing, now he's doing them too.
Yeah.
And so it's just those things of like not having an ego and being able to know that there's times where like I sat down to give somebody a gig just to play the chess game.
Yeah.
And that we're moving in this different direction of like, we're going to end up getting 3 days out of this venue.
Yeah.
Or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And it's like, I learned that pretty fast, like in programming, because I was like, you know how you hear like venues complaining about, oh, we know what he's playing, or they play the same thing or whatever. We want variety.
Yeah.
So once you start, but I was older when I got into the programming of it, so I understood like, okay, I didn't have an ego as a younger person.
Yeah. And that goes back to how I relate, bro, because I saw so many egos, you know, coming into this, that to where I just stood back and like I saw, you know, everybody who was a DJ when I was.
Well, also you grinded it out though.
Yeah.
So there's not many people, because I remember, like I told you this before, I heard about you from a schoolmate of yours that I worked with before, and they would say, hey, you know about Legacy? I was like, I never heard of that fool before in my life.
Who's that fool?
And then I remember there was one time you made a flyer. You were on a flyer, and he was like, hey, look, Legacy made it onto a flyer.
Yeah.
And
you know, you have no idea how sometimes like just being on a flyer or something can like kind of up your spirits.
Yeah.
Like,
and they were rooting for you too. They were like, hey, you see, look, he's coming up. And I think he liked your style because James, that guy I tell you about, he liked AM's style. So you're probably one of the few people that like from this newer generation that understood open format.
Yeah.
And I was doing open format obviously at Handlebar, right?
Yeah.
And before then in Austin, when I was working in Austin for like 4 years, right? So he knew I was doing that, and then he knew about you. But you were in the trenches.
Yeah.
You were really, and so you have a different perspective of really grinding it out. Because some guys are like connecting to certain people,
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But you grinded it out, so you can have that perspective of what you're saying of not having the ego, because we both come from the trenches of grinding it out and getting shit on.
Well, I didn't even know that story that you laid
Yeah,
out.
you didn't know that. You didn't know that. Yeah.
That was good. That was good shit. I was like, damn.
And that people were watching you, and
When you're a nobody, they're just kind of expecting to see what you do.
yeah,
And
you went to high school, whatever, with them, and they're like, this fool thinks he's a DJ. Let's see what this fool does.
yeah, I think it's all a matter of respect now too, man. And it's getting back to that. And like even the thing like when you said earlier, you know, before open format was a thing, I really feel, and I want your take on it too. The open format label is like being used maybe too much now, because I just look at it. Yeah, I say I'm an open format DJ because now it's like the thing, but it's just fucking playing music. It really
Well,
isn't.
I think it's in one place, because being at Handlebar, we truly did open format, right? I think we were the resurgence of it, right? We brought it back, I think, to Houston. Obviously, I think in the early days of Kung Fu, they did it, and then they kind of like went away from it, and then we brought it back, I think,
Yeah.
right? And anyway, so I would say that when people are saying they do open format, they get it confused by saying that they're playing different eras of R&B, different eras of rap, different eras of reggaeton.
Yeah.
It's like you're just playing urban music, right?
Now,
I feel like that's just urban music.
Yeah.
And also, if you're just doing hip hop and R&B, that doesn't make that's kind of one and the same.
So then, what's your take on open format?
I think it's like literally you're playing everything across the board, right? Like even into recently, like being at Wonder Bar, you're playing a Bad Bunny song, a Justin Bieber song, going into Travie McCoy, Billionaire.
Yeah.
You're playing, Taylor Swift, and then you're going to Waka Flocka, right? But you're making it make sense, and you're also doing high volume at that place.
Yeah.
And nobody's leaving the venue, right? And I think people aren't understanding of that's what it really is.
For sure. Like people get pissed that I play country and rock and roll.
Yeah, but it's hard when you're in a venue that's like has that whole block that you guys have. Yeah. They're just expecting like a fucking reggaeton festival every night.
Yeah.
So and also it's hard for people to like adjust these days, right? Because everybody has their own playlist. They're like, I have a Bad Bunny playlist. I have a Dembo playlist. This is all I listen to. So if you come out there doing a fucking, Friends in Low Places, they're just like, I'm not here for this. And that's why I try to push other, you try to push other people to like make edits so you can make that left turn.
Able to, like,
make left turns.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go crazy. That's another thing too. Like, if you keep doing the same thing all the time, you're just gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
And if you're able to go different places, you should do it and try to figure out how it's done.
I also been feeling like, and this is something that I was talking to one of my homies about like, okay, we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe like eight venues.
Oh, y'all do at this point, right?
Yeah. But one of the things that I talk to my guys about, that I talk to the team, is that everything needs to be different, right? If we set what this is going to be, then people are going to come like Vida.
It's always going to be the same.
Yeah. If it's like for instance, like Medellin, right? Let's separate our venues from each other so it's not all the same.
Yeah.
And because you got other venues, you got other clubs, you got other bars that are like in the club world or whatever, doing the same shit that we do. So let's separate ourselves. Let's separate our venues, since they're all our venues.
Yeah.
It's important to kind of separate it. I'm a big believer in like finding your own music, finding your own edits, making your own edits. I'm a big believer in that, because as DJs, I really feel like everybody needs to separate themselves also.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, there's a venue sound, and then there's an individual sound
Yeah.
within that. Yeah.
Like that, I really feel like it needs to go back to that individual sound if you want to be a DJ. That's what's gonna separate yourself. That's what you're gonna get booked for. You know, and I love a lot of these DJs that are coming out doing like some of the individual parties, because there are some really good DJs that can really play some shit, but they're not in the spotlight. They're not like, they don't put themselves out there. But shit, I've been to a couple of parties to where I hear people and I'm like, God damn, bro.
Yeah,
you're
no.
playing some fucking shit.
They're doing some good shit, and also like you can't say, like what's what's mainstream and what's not anymore, right? Like like you guys don't even remember a time when like probably Latin was like blackballed. You know what I mean? Like no suavemente, brother. You know what I mean? Like there was that time. So like you guys are on the outside looking at you guys are in a lane just like the people at Ball Kitty are in a lane. The people doing those independent parties are in a lane.
Yeah.
It's just like what's mainstream anymore. I feel like that's what's gotten these venue owners to be like not making money.
Yeah.
And seeing you guys making, truckloads of money over there because you guys figured out something that people want.
And that's what I'm saying. What's like, yeah, there's a crowd that comes in to hear mainstream, but there's also TikTok. You got people
That's influenced. That's influenced
like
things.
you gotta like. I go on Spotify, TikTok top trends.
Yeah.
Songs or fucking YouTube. Look at what's fucking
what's
popping on
there.
a fucking YouTube video.
And I think everybody's smarter now than they used to be.
Yeah.
So like you bring up C Baby, and how she's kind of bringing maybe a little bit of those Y2K parties along with the Boiler Room into Vita or something like that, right? It's just, but people are aware of it though.
Yeah.
It's like she's doing it in a way where people are responsive to it. People aren't dumb.
Yeah.
Like
a lot more people know music now than, because it's all over. It's not just radio.
because they could just be watching YouTube at home while they're washing dishes, and it's a Y2K party, a Boiler Room party, and they're just enjoying whatever's on their YouTube with all those sets that are on there, and it just introduces them to why Jersey Club is mainstream now, right?
Yeah.
How Miami Bass.
You never used to hear a lot of that.
Miami Bass is now mainstream. So like all these things now, the people aren't dumb. Those same people are going to go see Joe K at White Oak Music Hall.
Yeah.
Just like they're going to go see you on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
So
for
it's I don't understand these venues. It's like too much hip hop, too much Latin. It's like I don't know what to tell you, brother. Like we live in the second most populated Hispanic city in the nation.
Yeah.
We're right behind LA. I don't know what you want to change.
Or like, if you're not open-minded to kind of like, be welcoming at least.
Yeah.
As far as music, because I mean, we talked about it plenty of times, and I mean, you just touched on it. It's just like too much. What? Why is there?
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that era of venues being don't do this, don't
And
do that.
you remember that month or so, or those months that Sexy Red was at the top of the Billboard charts?
Yeah.
Right? She's taken up about 6 slots of the top 20.
Yeah.
And you're telling me not to play her at the venue? We're like, keep that shit out of here? Like, when I was working downtown, it was just like, what are we doing down here? Yeah. Like, there's all these Hispanic people on downtown. What are we doing?
And then comes that question of,
they literally said no Latin music. Like, this is in the last year or two. They literally told me, don't play Latin music.
And I swear to God, I was just talking to Omix and Heck. We were on in our group, and there was a certain bar coming back, and they were like, man, I remember we used to work at that bar, and we got fired maybe like 10, 11 times because they didn't want no hip hop, they didn't want no Latin. And it was a certain Sunday party that used to go down around the corner from us that they're bringing it back now. And like they were just like, man, like fuck, we remember when that place was. And we talk about it on the podcast all the time because Omix was in that era too of where like, he's a fucking Latino DJ, like those are his roots. That's where he lives. He gets down. But then back then he had to fucking deal with those fucking punches of no Latin, no hip hop, no.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck does that?
I mean, that's even happening now, dog.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, are you serious? Like you walk down this block. And you're telling me you see something different?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even right now in Midtown, those conversations still happen.
Oh,
and you're
I'm
telling
pretty
me
sure.
like these guys making X amount per month at those venues that you guys are doing incredible numbers,
Yeah.
and you're telling us across the street don't even entice anybody over here. And you think Coexo's place is gonna do anything? Like,
I love that spot.
I'm sure you do. I mean, it looks dope. It seems fine, but it's just like I hear the restrictions that people have, and it's just like it's tough, man.
Well, I just
I feel bad for the DJs that have the handcuffs like that.
Yeah. And I really feel too. I mean, obviously people pick and choose where they want to work and everything and things like that. But I mean, it just has to go back to, knowing who you are as a DJ. Hey, if you're gonna go do this for a paycheck, then do it for the paycheck. But you also have to have, like, I love coming over here and DJing with y'all because it kind of takes me out of my element.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, obviously, I can play, some of the things, but the people aren't gonna get it.
Yeah.
At the venues that I'm at, right? And
And there's only so far you could.
But when I come over here, it's just like, like what? The first Sunday I came over here, Los told me, hey, this ain't no club shit. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Boom, let me play some. Oh, shit. That's dope. I love seeing that reaction to anybody, right?
Yeah.
And, it just kind of takes me out of my element. And I feel like every DJ should have a spot or a residency to where, like, you're able to, like, kind of, like, let loose. And because if we do this shit, you live off this, I live off this. There's a lot of DJs that live off this. I mean, it's not for the weak, bro.
Yeah, and it's not, and you have to understand that it's a job. Like, we do a brunch place, and it's like, it's family friendly. It's at 9:00 in the morning, right? and it's just like, it's like, I'm not trying to change the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to change. Like, dang, I should be playing Miami bass in here. Like, we need more Latin in here. Like,
We need these motherfuckers hyped up at 9 a.m.
And I also try to tell people, like, hey man, like, it's okay to have a day job too, because what I learned over this years is that it's better to do what you love.
Yeah.
Like, I was forced to be a whore and do whatever needed to be done.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, no Latin? Okay. No hip hop? Okay.
But
there just wasn't another way.
Yeah. Because you knew, okay, you kind of just said, all right, let me do it because this is going to get me, like you were talking on programming.
There wasn't options.
But yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there wasn't options.
It was kind of like a way of programming yourself too, the way that you were talking about programming. Doing this is going to get me 2 gigs or 3 other gigs or
to me, it was just like, that's how the world works.
Yeah.
The world just worked that way. It was just like, hey, we don't want people of color in here. And it's like, that's just the way the club used to be in, like, back in the day or whatever. We don't want to hear that because this brings a certain type of crowd in here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just heard that all the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And so, I mean, like I told you now, it's just like, don't play any Latin music. And it's just like, what? Anyway, but it just...
You're telling a Latino DJ not to play...
I mean, there's that. And also saying that we don't want any of them in here.
Yeah. That's wild, man. That's crazy talk when you hear it nowadays.
And so it's just how it was. And so to be in DJing, you just had to accept those things. Now you have full on Latin, whatever. You got all these. You could be a boiler room, whatever that means, right? Whatever that means. You could be a vinyl DJ. You can be a Ice House Radio DJ. Whatever. All these different things are. Ball Kitty.
Yeah.
You could just play R&B. Like, there wasn't ever a time where you could just be like, just gonna play R&B today.
Like, straight.
Just play R&B.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't exist.
Yeah.
And then about the Latin shit, you just had to go Hullabaloo's or EDR if you were gonna hear Latin.
Yeah.
That's it. Like now there's just
some of the spots that David was at.
Oh yeah. So it's just that it's different now, and that it's just my suggestion to keep your peace of mind is, like, it's okay to have a day job.
Yeah.
Just to be like, do what you want to do with this.
Have something that
keep it special.
Yeah.
Because you and I both know it's work. And, like, at certain points, it just sometimes you're just like, damn, I just want to quit this shit, or like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Or like,
It gets
is
repetitive.
this it? Right? Like, you get to the point where you're just, is this it?
Yeah.
But then, you get past that or whatever. And you just want other people to be like, man, have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Also, you don't need to play everywhere, right? That's another thing too. Like, you know how everybody's like, I want to play at your spot. I want to play at Handlebar. I want to play at Wonder Bar. I want to play at McIntyre's in the Heights. I want to play. It's like, oh, you don't need to play everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, your time's just gonna come. Like,
well, brother, like, I don't want to cut you off. We're gonna have to close this up soon. But you know, like I said, I really appreciate you coming on because you really spit some shit that, like I said, that I didn't know that we really got into and talked about. Now, this podcast is called Living Your Legacy. Now, I always ask this question, and I always like to end it on this question. You know, you yourself, Demo, you know, DJ Demo, what is something that you would leave behind, or what is something that you would want to leave as, you know, your legacy? Meaning the person that you are, you know, you being a DJ, husband, family man. What's something that you could just put into words real quick that you would say that you want to leave as your legacy?
Man, it's a deep fucking question.
It hits everybody, trust me. It hits everybody.
I mean, if it relates to DJing, which is like, that's been the whole thing for the last however many years, is that all I've ever wanted to be is just like, if you walk into a room and people are like, yo, man, he's a pretty good DJ. Like, he's a good DJ. That's all I ever wanted. Was like, I didn't want to be the best DJ, because, you know, that's always, you know, like, how can you be, like, whatever. Yeah. And it's just like, hey, man, like, he's a good DJ. Because it was just always, I felt like that was always that thing where, like, you know, Baby J or Clean Cut or Data or somebody be like, oh, man, like, it's always nice when somebody says, hey, man, he's a good DJ.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I ever wanted after all these years, just to be like, he's just a good DJ.
And something like that can mean a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Something when they just say, hey, yo, good job.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, you're killing it. They might say, like, in a low tone, hey, man, you're killing it, bro.
Yeah.
That's big.
Like, I never wanted to be, like, I mean, we compete, right? Because we're like, who's blowing out who today, right? But, you know, at the end of the day, I just wanted Rockwell or somebody to be like, yo, man, he's a good DJ.
Yeah.
That's all I ever wanted. And I really implore everybody just to be like, just be a good DJ.
Yeah.
Just be a good DJ and a good person.
There you go. There it is. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to thank my brother Demo for being on here.
Appreciate
Episode
you.
number 6, man. This is a real special one. Big shout out to 93 Till. Like I said, 93 Till over here in the Montrose area. Look it up. Great cocktail bar, great food. So just come over here and check it out. Every Thursday.
Shout out to Roger.
Oh, yeah.
Roger in the
my
back.
boy cooking it up. Like I said, Demo will be here
Every Thursday. Yeah, every Thursday.
Thursday's doing this thing over here with Los. They have a once a month party with Kayla.
Oh, and then the last Thursday of the month is our R&B party with Kayla.
Okay, yeah. Dope. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. Follow these guys on Instagram, all platforms. Don't forget to subscribe, share. I love y'all, and big shout out to your birthday, man. Happy birthday.
Oh, appreciate it, man.
Happy birthday,
my
brother.
brother.
So at that, we out, guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it, brother. Yes, sir.
I guess we could have gone for hours, huh?
Yeah, bro. I was about to keep on going as long as my phone didn't, bro.